Welcome back to Persona 4. In this episode, we're going to at least finish the last two floors of Yukiko's castle. So I'm probably going to be cutting out any repeat battles that I run into because I'm practically grinding to face off against Yukiko. Now, for advice sake, if you really want to grind for Yukiko and other difficulties and this is your new game, your best bet is you grind from level 1 all the way up to your last starting point. If your starting point was level 6, you grind all the way up to your last starting point and try to brute force your way to the last stage of to the last area of the game, and then afterwards you save, go home, and if you're at the last day, save for one dungeon to do that with. If you're at the last stage, you could go on ahead and you can beat the dungeon and be done with it. Yeah, you'll miss out on a chance meeting with the sun, but that's okay. At this point in time, I'm just trying to get through the dungeon, because this dungeon constantly drains SP. By the way, magical maguses, they absorb ice and they're weak to fire. So I'm going to get Huapo and burn them. Or you can use Ukabaka, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, burning these enemies is going to cause a down, or you could just instantly kill them depending on what level of fire spell you have. The higher the fire spell, the more powerful the damage you do. And also, it is encouraged that before this point, you fuse persona, like all the lesser persona you have, like Izanagi, Pixie, High Pixie, or things of that nature. You fuse them into whatever your level is, type of persona, so that way you'll be able to have stronger persona on the way to the boss. And I accidentally got enemy advantage here. This is heat balance, the thing that just knocked me on my ass. As you can see, it is not a joke. It repels all elements, but you can only hit it with physicals, and Almighty is the only thing that can actually do the most damage to it. In other words, things like Megiddo will actually hurt it. I mean, it doesn't have like a necessary weakness, but it does the most damage, but it doesn't make them flinch, and you won't be able to like do a all-out attack on it. Because quite frankly, Almighty magic is the most powerful magic in the game, and if you somehow survive, you're going to be at very low health. And the same could be said about the enemies, provided that you have a higher, version of Megiddo or any almighty attack. So on that note, let's just keep going. We will find the door eventually, and more importantly, we'll be closer and closer to Yukiko. But right now, we're going to grab this treasure chest, and hopefully there's no Reaper. Ha! I'm actually lucky this time. There is no Reaper. I only got one more floor, so if there's no Reaper there, I'm done, basically, for this stage. I'll be just fine. And let's just move past this, because it's another battle with magical maguses. That's why I'm skipping battles, because I'm only showing you one fight, whatever the character is, or the enemy is, and I'm just going to keep going. And wait, really? Magical maguses again, and look at my SP. I'm practically trying to gain enough levels so that I could actually stand a chance against Yukiko, and it's not working out the way I want it to. Oh, speaking of things not working out the way I want it to, Burning Beetle. They repel physicals, but Holy and Ice actually does the most damage. So on that note, I am going to block. Because I don't have a persona that actually knows ice, not ice, but rather fire magic yet. I, honest to God, should have gotten Jack Frost. It would have helped. Particularly for this stage, but I didn't have enough money to do that. Well, technically I did, but I wanted to buy other stuff too, so I was trying to manage my money. So Chie could make short work of these burning beetles. And they have a tendency to repel physical attacks. Except for all-out attacks. And that penchant for repelling physical attacks is going to carry over, but they'll have a different weakness with the palette swap of the enemy, that happen to be in other dungeons. So be on the lookout for those beetles. So let's just grab this chest and let's see if there's a Reaper in it. Nope. Just a peach seed. Oh, right. I should have told you. Rainy day enemies. Oh, I did mention something about rainy day enemies. This is the rainy day enemy, by the way. The Avenger Knight. It's weak to Holy and to Almighty, but it's pretty strong to physicals. I mean, it resists them, but it's not really, like, strong. It just does minimal damage, whereas Almighty could pretty much turn the tide. And pretty much do the most damage to these enemies here. But I had to actually lower one of those things' defenses so I can at least one-shot him with a Megadola. I mean, a Megiddo. I don't have Megadola. Not yet, at least. And I don't think the persona that I have learns Megadola. Whatever the case, these guys are starting to get on my nerves. I'm going to blast them straight to smithereens. Booyah! Now I know what you're thinking. You said that this guy was weak to Almighty attacks. Well, here's the thing. They don't have the weakness signifier, but they do take more damage if you hit them with Almighty. In fact, they take a boatload of damage if you hit them with Almighty. So, actually, I got a better idea. Let's hit him with light. I'm pretty sure we can now. And presto! Oh wait, that wasn't light. Never mind, that was fire. And somehow he moved, even though he barely has any life left. Ah, great. He raised up his evasion. But that's okay. We got this. And that's the end of him. So, with that said, we're going to be done with floor 7. Or floor 6. I'm pretty sure this is floor 6. But now I'm at level 12. Yosuke's at level 12. Chie's at level 12. And it just feels so good that we're trying to prepare for Yukiko. Because here's the thing. Yukiko will stall the game out longer than what it needs to be. And what do I mean by stalling the game out longer than what it needs to be? When we get to the boss in the next part, I'll tell you. But she sometimes summons monsters that'll stall out the game. So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, having more level means having the ability to one-shot the monsters and do significant amount of damage to Yukiko. But here's the problem. We have to grind first. And grinding can be a chore. Kinda wish I bought that sword. Oh, there's nothing here. We've defeated every shadow thus far, so let's just head on to the 7th floor, because we're closing in on finishing up this palace palace. I mean, I was talking a little bit about Yukiko, but I have to say that at this point in time, I'm somewhat ready. I just need to do something about my SP, because that's the most important thing. Having my SP completely healed. And seeing as how the only thing that's waiting for us is the boss, I might as well just go on ahead and just use a tap soda so I can restore my SP and actually attack much more. Because coming up, we're going to find the last enemy in this palace. And we're almost close to Yukiko. She's going to be on the next floor. So this isn't really much of a twisted turn linear pathway. I mean, sure, Persona 4 is a linear pathway, but at least the doors actually go to something. Unlike Persona 3 and also Persona... No, actually, now that I think about it, it was Persona 3 where, God damn it, what was I talking about? No, it was Final Fantasy 13 I was trying to make a comparison to. That there was hallways and the doors actually led to something because of the fact that Final Fantasy 13 has the linear pathways. And also so does Persona 3. Because you need to climb up the stairs, but you don't open doors or open rooms not until you get like midway to the top. At least you're not just visiting Tartarus over and over again. That's a good thing, at least. I don't need to fight that. I'm pretty sure I have... Actually, no. I thought that I had more than enough SP left to actually go up against Yukiko, but I'm not. We just need to avoid all of the enemies at all costs. And let's see. This is the laughing table. Sorry about that, folks. Had a little dizzy spell there. The laughing table is weak to win, but pretty much is nullifying everything else. Except for Almighty. Almighty, you could use on it. But time for me to show off Kuei Chi. I think that's how you pronounce it, and I have been butchering this pronunciation for quite some time. I'm sorry, but I've seen the name of that persona from Final Fantasy 12, where Kuei Chi, spelled Cusith, happened to be one of the enemies found in, if I'm not mistaken, Gomor Jungle. Yes. I think Gomor Jungle is where you found them. Or I could be wrong, whichever one comes first. But we're almost closing in on the Yukiko. We don't need to fight anyone else. And it looks like we aren't. Let's just keep going. We don't need to get into any more fights, because any more fights would lead to us permanently losing our... No, will permanently have me losing SP, because we need SP, goddammit. Now then, let's check what's here. Something there. That's alright. I could just grab the treasure chest and run, but unfortunately that's not the case. It's cool. It's cool. I'll just grab the stuffed soul and be on my merry way. I think that's all of the areas, save for one. We just gotta turn right, and that'll be it. We'll be not too far from Yukiko's, well, we're not too far from beating Yukiko's castle. All we need to do is go one more floor. And we had to get past that thing, and I think I used up a stuffed soul. Yes, I did. I kinda had to, you know, because my SP was completely gone. However, I did lose a lot of health from that. Well, not a lot of health, just some health. So now, up the stairs we go, and we are done. Alright. We could go in if we wanted to, as we are, or we could just simply go back to the entrance and save. Or I could just save it here. And that's probably would be the wisest idea to do, is to save it here. Because after all, something may happen and I end up may having to go through all this all over again. Or at least the 6th and 7th floor all over again. Because I did save before starting those floors. So at least I've covered my bases there just in case something happens. So we're going to go back and we're going to get ourselves a Justice Persona. And if you're wondering how I'm able to carry all of these Persona, and this is supposed to be a new game, well, due to the compendium, you do get the ability to carry more than just 3 Persona. You can carry up to 12 of them. And one of those 12 is going to be a Justice Persona, because after all, eventually once Yukiko joins the team, we're going to need a Justice Persona. So I am hell-bent on using Black Frost for this. I really am, but he's a full Persona, and I don't really need a full Persona. I need Justice, and that is the one thing I'm going to get, a Justice Arcana Persona, so that way, when it comes down to, I just passed it up, didn't I? And I passed it up. So anyway, as I was saying, it would be in my best interest to get myself a Justice Persona and use that Persona to my advantage. Let's see, I'm pretty sure all fingers are going to be pointing to Principality, and that's because of the fact that I've already gotten Archangel and Angel, so Principality will have to do. And I also have Power and Dominion as well. So I really don't need to get that. I'll just try to stick with Principality for now, because I need something a lot more powerful than what I have right now. So, can I at least get Principality? Or am I going to get Archangel? I'm just teeter-tottering. And by the way, all of the skills that you see, some of those came from fusions. I gotta talk more about fusions when we come down time to get the Empress's social link, because that's actually an important thing. So on that note, I want to try to get someone that doesn't have a weakness to fire. That's the only reason why I'm getting Principality, but at the time, wanting to stray away from Principality, because Principality does have nullification against darkness. Nullification against light is weak to darkness. Fire doesn't do too much to it, so we'll be just fine on that regard. So this would be a perfect time for me to go over to Yukiko's castle and prepare ourselves for battle. Because I can assure you, it'll be a drag-down war, because the whole part is literally us versus Shadow Yukiko. And as I head back to the 8th floor, what's happening is we're finishing up Yukiko, and we will be done with this palace. Well, for now, because I forgot to mention something. If you clear a palace, with the exception of Konishi's Liquors, you will have a mini-boss. I think there's one other place that there's an exception to that rule too, but you will have a mini-boss to deal with. And it's going to be a tough one. So on that note, I'll see you guys next time when we take care of Yukiko's Shadow. Peace out.